Hello and welcome to your third Yin Yoga class. Well done for making it out to another video and for carving out this time for yourself. In last week's video, we focused on the shoulders, arms and wrists. And this week we'll be focusing on the stomach and spleen meridian lines. Meridian lines in the body are a concept from Chinese medicine used in Yin Yoga a lot. And it's a belief that there are these energetic highways in our bodies going to various organs and various parts of the body. And of course, with life, sometimes these energetic highways can get congested and we're not bringing any of that good energy or chi as it's known to certain parts of the body. So this routine is going to help you to bring a little bit more energy to your stomach and your spleen. Now, of course, the stomach is associated with digestion, so this is going to be really good if you do have any digestive issues. It's going to be like a little reboost for your digestive system. And digestive issues are also associated with mental health issues as well. As you might know, the gut is often thought to be the second brain. So if we're having any issues around our gut, that can transfer up into irritability, sadness, anxiety, all of that fun stuff. So this routine is going to be really helpful for that kind of issue. And of course, it's just going to be nice and relaxing, nice and chill, and some time for you to spend with yourself, with your breath, and with your body. So with all that being said, for this routine, you will need some yoga blocks or something to sit on the mat. And then it's always nice to have a blanket to put our knees onto and then to use to rest at the end of the class. So press pause if you need to, get ready, and then we'll begin. Begin by finding your most comfortable way to sit. We'll stay here for a moment or two, just transitioning into our more calming energy, getting ready to do this practice. So once you're comfortable, take a moment to lengthen your spine, close your eyes or relax your gaze. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, relax your facial muscles. Take some time to scan through your body and notice any parts that you're holding tight. And if you can, just release those areas. As your body starts to relax, bring some awareness to your breath, encouraging a deep inhale into your belly, letting it rise up into your chest and throat, and a long exhale, emptying your belly, emptying your chest, emptying your throat. Once thoughts start to appear, gently close the door on them. Know that you can always think about those things later, but for now you are spending this time with your breath and with your body. We'll take one more full breath in. As you exhale, you can gently start to bring yourself back. We'll make our way into our first pose today, which is Child's Pose. So you can set yourself up nice and comfortable. We're going to be here for 5 minutes. If you want to put a blanket in underneath your knees, you can do that. If you find that your knees get a little bit bothered in child's pose, you can also roll up your blanket, making like a sausage shape, and then putting the blanket in behind your knees like so. And that will take a little bit of the pressure out of them. You can also sit up on a cushion or a yoga block, have that in underneath your hips. And I think that's it. We're ready to come into our pose. We're going to keep the knees together this time, but if you prefer to have them wide apart, that's fine. And then reach your hands either towards the front of the mat. They can be used as platforms to rest your forehead onto, or they can come palms up next to your feet. Give yourself permission to fidget and adjust, and then find what will work for you for the next 5 minutes. Making your way back to your breath, strengthening that relationship to it, and trying not to get distracted by your thoughts. You'll notice we're putting some compression on our stomach region, helping to stimulate everything in there. You might try to keep your awareness there so you can keep bringing that fresh energy to your stomach. Noticing how each time you inhale, you're squishing everything together. And each time you exhale, you might be able to sink deeper into your pose, letting something go. For your last minute in the pose, you might check in on your shoulders and your neck, making sure you're not crunching here. Everything is nice and soft. Loosen your jaw, relax your facial muscles, and enjoy your last few breaths in child's pose. We'll slowly transition out of child's pose now. Use the breath in to pick yourself back up. From here, we'll come down to lie on the front of the body, making our way into Sphinx Pose. And this is a pose that might be familiar to you now if you have been practicing our other videos, but if not, that's okay. First of all, we are measuring our elbows and then placing our forearms at that distance apart. Spread your fingers wide, and then your feet can come to about mat width distance apart or whatever feels natural to you. You want to slide your elbows slightly in front of you, just making sure that they are in front of your shoulders. If this is too intense for your back, you can slide your elbows even more in front of you, and you can place cushions underneath your chest or underneath your stomach. We want to try to relax all of the muscles in the back of the body, especially the glutes. So if you need to here, you can just shake the back of the body, get rid of any fidgets. And if you find, again, that the pose is too intense, you can engage your glutes here to give you a little bit more support through the back of your body. So let's just take a moment to find what works for us here. Once we've found it, commit to the stillness of your body. Of course, if you feel any pain or extreme discomfort, then move and adjust until it works for you. But if not, just try to remain still, trying to still the thoughts in the mind as well by staying focused on your breath and on the sensations you feel. We'll be here for 5 minutes in total. You've probably noticed again we're putting pressure onto the stomach region. As you breathe in, you can squish your belly against the mat. And then as you breathe out, you might be able to let go of something. Take 3 more big breaths in and out, savoring every sensation. Now you can slowly lower yourself down onto your belly, making a pillow with your hands and resting a cheek onto your pillow. Whatever way you're looking, you can slide your knee up on that side. Just like you've slid into bed after a long day. You can even imagine you have freshly washed sheets and you're just relaxing here for the next minute. Bringing yourself back now, slowly transitioning. You can pick yourself up so you're sitting on your mat again. Our next pose is saddle pose. So this is one where you might want to sit up on a yoga block or a cushion. We'll be holding for 4 minutes. So we have options here. You can just do one leg at a time for 2 minutes. And then I'll let you know, of course, when to switch. But just to demonstrate what we're doing, so you might have an idea of which version to go for. We're sitting up on our yoga block or cushion like so, keeping our thighs parallel to each other. At all times, we want to make sure that our knees can stay on the mat. So if at any point your knee is starting to lift off, then you're going to want to reverse a little bit. And then we will be staying just like so, or if we want to go to our next edge, we can start to lean backwards. So we start to feel that opening up through our quad. We're also stretching and opening our stomach region. This is the full version. So if this is too much, you can always straighten out one leg and just do one leg at a time. So let's set ourselves up for this pose. You can also make use of your blanket here, putting it onto the mat so your knees have a little bit of cushion. I want to make sure it's nice and flat. So find what works. You might be happy to just stay like this, and that's absolutely fine. Remember, if you can feel it, you're doing it. So it doesn't always have to be some extreme pose that looks impressive. It's just whatever feels good to you. Settling in now, finding our breath. Finding our stillness, and then maybe waiting for invitations. The first principle of Yin Yoga is to find an appropriate depth and then to play with our edges. So if you want to go to the next edge, you might start to walk your hands back slightly behind you. And then each deeper edge might be bringing your hands even further back. Now we're halfway through the hold, so if you are doing one leg, you can now switch to the other leg. For anyone who is feeling very flexible and wants to go to a deeper edge, you can remove your block or whatever you're sitting on and sit your bum down in between your feet. Remember, your knees have to stay on the mat here, so only do what will allow you to keep the knees down. And if you can sit down, if your bum is on the mat, then you might be able to come back a little bit deeper to your next edge. You can also come down onto your forearms, or onto your elbows rather, or just lie down on your back if that's appropriate for you. Take 3 more breaths here in this pose. You can slowly start to transition out of the pose now and make your way back into child's pose. Just resting here for a minute, letting our body process everything we've done so far. With an inhale, you can lift yourself slowly back up, coming back to sit on your mat. Transitioning into shoelace pose now. As we discussed last week and maybe the week before, there are options with shoelace. We can do half or full. So we're sitting with our legs out long in front of us. You can be sitting up on a cushion or yoga block. Elevating the hips will help to open them up a little bit more. Then start by bringing your left foot over to the outside of your right hip, pulling it back as far as you comfortably can. Here we are in half shoelace and you're welcome to stay there. But if you do want to go a bit deeper, you can bend that bottom knee as well. So now our right foot is over beside the left hip. Wherever you are, make sure that you can feel both of your seat bones pressed into whatever you're sitting on. We're going to be here like this for 2 minutes. Then we're going to take it into a twist for 2 minutes and then we'll fold forward for 2 minutes. So find your appropriate depth. Once you're there, settle into it. Connect to your breath. Discover the sensation you're feeling throughout your hips, maybe within some other parts of your body as well. And just attach your awareness to that sensation. Maybe wondering how you would describe this sensation to someone. Thinking about what's actually happening within your body. And just growing curious about it. Now we're going to transition into a twist. So you can take your left hand or arm to the outside of this left leg. Bring your right arm in behind you. Inhale to lengthen up your spine. And as you exhale, just gently start to rotate. First from your waist, then your rib cage, then your neck, and then maybe your eyes looking back behind you. We'll be here for 2 minutes, so you have lots of time to slowly transition into that twist. You can take it just one edge at a time. Keep sending your breath down into your belly. Anytime we twist, we're really stimulating our digestive system, getting everything kicked into gear, squeezing out any old toxins and then rejuvenating it with lots of fresh energy that you're sending in now. Take one more big breath in, lengthen your spine again. Exhale to slowly come back to center. Feeling all that fresh life flowing into your stomach region now. From here, we're taking it into a fold. So you can start to walk your hands away from you. Once you've reached your maximum, drop your nose down towards your top knee. Find your breath. Become curious about everything that's happening internally in both body and mind. We're here for 2 minutes. You may or may not get invitations to go deeper, but if they come, you can walk your hands a little further away from you, maybe dropping your nose a little lower. Taking your last 3 breaths. Now starting to slowly push the floor away from you. Undoing your legs, and you can, as always, let out a big sigh here if you need to. We'll do windshield wipers, so step your feet wider apart. Exhale to drop the knees down. Inhale to pick them up, and exhale to the other side. 1 minute of windshield wipers, getting rid of tension from your hips. Pause the next time your knees are in center, and we'll repeat that sequence now on the opposite side. This time your right foot is coming to the outside of your left hip, left leg staying long or maybe bending. Connecting our seat bones into the earth, fidgeting around as much as we need to, and then finding our stillness for 2 minutes like this. Now we're transitioning into our twist, rotating towards your left. So bring your right arm to hook against this right leg. Left hand comes in behind you. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to start twisting at the base of your spine. And then gradually rotate all the way up to the crown of your head. When you're ready to release your twist, you can start to transition back to center. And from here, coming into our fold, finding that first edge, resting there. Keeping your awareness with those internal organs around your belly region. Keep sending all your breath and love into them. Taking your last 3 breaths here, enjoying every moment of this pose. Now pushing yourself away from your mat, coming back up to sit. We'll release with some windshield wipers. Taking your time again here. Your body will present to you any areas of tension, so keep listening out. And once you find them, you might just pause or take a breath into it. You can pause the next time your knees are in center, and then take your feet as wide apart as you can get them, making our way into straddle pose. As always, you can sit up on a cushion or yoga block here. If your hamstrings are very tight, you can take a bend into your knees. It's okay to even have the soles of your feet on the floor. You can also engage your quad muscles here to take a little bit of pressure out of your knees if you need to. Alternatively, you can have cushions, yoga blocks in underneath your thighs. We're going to fold right down the middle and we're going to be here for 5 minutes. So make sure that you are in your most sustainable version of the pose. Then when you're ready, you can start to fold forward. Again, walking your hands to that first edge, dropping your nose towards the mat, committing to some stillness within body and mind. Bringing your awareness back into your belly and also towards your lower back. So you're also bringing life to your kidneys, stretching them out and releasing anything that's caught up within them. Take your last 3 breaths here. Use an inhale to gradually bring yourself back up. You can bring your feet back in beside each other now, so your legs are long in front of you. Taking a moment here just to shake out. You might even pat your legs if they need a little bit of stimulation here. And now we're transitioning into caterpillar pose, which we might know as a seated forward fold. So your legs are long in front of you and they're relatively parallel to each other. So try not let your knees or your feet rather drop in or flop out to the edges. Keep everything nice and straight. You can sit up on a yoga block or cushion. You can also take a bend into your knees here if needed. Then you're inhaling to reach your hands up, exhaling to hinge at your hips, folding down over your legs and encouraging your nose towards your knees. Remember, we have lots of time here, so we don't have to squish ourselves down straight away. Rest wherever you're at now, accept it. And know that your breath and gravity will slowly bring you deeper into the pose if that's what you want. We're about halfway through this hold, so a good opportunity to check in. See if your mind has left the yoga mat, and if it has, that is completely normal. Find some sensation within your body that it can become curious in. Find your breath. And I always think of this like the mind is a small child and you are its parent, and you're trying to get your child to be interested in schoolwork or something educational that kids might not necessarily be interested in, but you're really encouraging this child. You're showing it everything that is good about what you want them to be interested in. You're telling them the advantages of it, how fun and interesting it is. Take that approach to your own body and your breath as well, and teach your mind how interesting you are. Take 3 more breaths. Now start to migrate back up into a straight spine. Take your time. Once you're there, you might just lean back on your hands for a moment. Shake out your legs or rotate your ankles. And now we're making our way into dragon pose. So you can bring your feet back behind you, hands in front, coming into a brief tabletop pose. Now step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, having it on a 45-degree angle. Your back knee will determine how deep you go here, so you might slide it back to go deeper or bring it forward to not go so deep. If your back knee is sensitive, you can keep your back toes tucked or you can place a blanket in underneath your knee. Get all your fidgets out, find your nice spot to rest. This is a pose where the mind will really try to distract you and to make you fidget, but I would encourage you to challenge those thoughts and ask yourself, do I really need to move and fidget, or can I remain still? And again, this is such a powerful practice, something that we can take off the mat, and when life presents us with uncomfortable situations, we naturally will start to pause and ask ourselves, do I need to react to this, or can I take a breath and give myself some time and space to figure it out? Little sighs are welcome here in Yin Yoga. It's just your body expelling what it doesn't want anymore. You might come down into low flying dragon by bringing your forearms onto the mat if that's available, or you can take your yoga blocks, set them in underneath you. And then bring your forearms down to your yoga blocks. And of course, if you've come down and you realize this is not your appropriate depth, respect your body and come back to where you were. There's a saying by Bernie Clark, I believe, who is a big Yin Yoga teacher, and he says to never sacrifice the body for the glory of the pose. It's just not worth it, and it's really not necessary. Take your last 3 juiciest breaths here. And when you're ready, you can gradually transition back into child's pose. Take your time, there's no rush. Resting here for the next minute, giving the right side of the body a chance to communicate with the left, let it know what's coming. And this is how we can really improve our muscle memory and improve our function when we let the body just talk to itself. Now you can start to set yourself up for dragon on the opposite side. Starting just by bringing your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Have it on a 45-degree angle. Find the position for your back knee. And now we're back to square one. Back to getting to know this side of the body. Waiting for those invites to go deeper. Challenging the urges to move and to fidget. Unless we're in pain, then of course move. So you can stay exactly as you are, or you can come down onto your forearms into a low flying dragon. Moving is like when you disturb murky water and all the dirt comes back up to the surface. And now you're just waiting, let it all settle again, let the water become clear. Taking our last 3 breaths now in this pose. Enjoy every semi-second. Now you can start to make your way out of the pose, coming back to sit on your mat. Releasing with some windshield wipers. So leaning back on your hands, widening your feet. Exhale to drop, inhale to lift. Keeping your mind magnetized to your body. When you're ready to stop those windshield wipers, you can come on down to lie on your back. Take a brief moment in Shavasana pose. Again, letting your body talk to itself, process what's happening. Now ending our poses with a one knee reclined twist. Twisting at the end of the practice like this always helps to restore equilibrium back into your body. So let's start by bringing the sole of the right foot onto your left thigh. Left hand can come to hold this knee. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Stack your hips on top of each other, so your right hip is on top. Bring your knee over towards the left. Release your right arm back down to the right at a 90-degree angle to your body. Make sure both of your shoulders stay connected to the mat. You can look up, or for more of a twist, you can look over at your right hand. We'll stay here for 2 minutes. When you reach an edge, if you do, you might be able to take it to the next edge by encouraging your knee a little bit closer to the floor, going a little bit deeper into that twist. Keep sending your breath and all of your energy into your belly, even though it's much harder to breathe deeply in this pose. We'll start to slowly transition back into center, resting again in a brief Shavasana pose. Let the right side of your body talk to the left side. Now bring the sole of your left foot onto your right thigh. Right hand holds the knee, left arm reaches up. Stacking the hips, bringing the knee over towards the right. Dropping your left arm back down to the left. Both shoulders stay on the mat and you can look up or you can look over towards your left hand. Before we move on, check in on your jaw again, your facial muscles, your shoulders, making sure that everything is soft. Seeing how much you can still your mind. Again, here your thoughts are like the murky water, but you're just waiting, encouraging the water of your mind to become clear again. Take another 3 breaths in this pose. Now let's start to slowly come back to center. When you're there, you can bring both of your knees up towards your chest, hands on the knees, and make little circles with your knees. Switch the direction of your circle. And now we've come to the most important part of the practice, our final relaxation. So you can set yourself up, make yourself really comfortable, putting that blanket over you. If you are cold, this is where your body can really, truly relax. Even when we are asleep, our mind and our body are still functioning. So in our final Shavasana, we can really give ourselves permission to stop. We can let our muscle memory build, our lymphatic system drain. So let's commit to the next 10 minutes here in this stillness and silence. Allow your hands and your legs to explore until they find the perfect place to rest. Loosen your jaw. Relax your facial muscles. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your glutes. Relax your abdomen. Loosen your knees. Loosen your ankles. Relax your feet. Start to notice the weight of gravity on your body. And try to locate the point where gravity is pressing you down the most. So the part of your body that is melting into the earth the quickest. Let your awareness linger on that point. Now let gravity take over. Let the rest of your body follow down through that heavy point and let your body completely melt into the earth. I'll let you know when it's time to come back. slowly start to bring a little bit of awareness back. Making small adjustments as needed. When you're ready, you can come to lie on the right side of your body. Taking a few moments here to find your breath again. As you're here, celebrate yourself for showing up and for doing this practice for yourself. Thank your body for being able to even get you onto a yoga mat and for everything that it did for you today. Now, trying to keep your awareness inward, you can slowly lift yourself back up into a seat. We'll end our practice as we started by just taking a few quiet breaths. Breathing in peace, relaxation, exhaling out any stress or tension left in your body. We'll take one more big breath in together. Open your mouth, exhale. And now you can slowly open up your eyes again. Thank you so much for joining me for this class. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your experiences. If you want to give some feedback or ask questions, you can always do that through the comments below, or feel free to reach out at any time. I am here to help you as much as I can. So until next week, take care and goodbye.